Hello and welcome to your Need to Know for July 31st, coming to you from Meadow Mill. I'm Amanda and this is Alan. Join us here every Tuesday at 12:30 for your weekly news roundup and a discussion of current events. Alan.
Yes.
Can you guess who the second most popular governor in the U.S. is?
I couldn't imagine.
I think you know the answer.
I know who it is.
Come on, give
Larry
it to
Hogan.
us. It is.
Our very own Larry Hogan.
Very own.
Well, the political website Morning Consult has called the Maryland governor the second most popular governor in the United States. Results are based on online surveys conducted with roughly 275,000 registered voters. Hogan had a 68% approval rating and a 17% disapproval rating, which is kind of surprising because I would think it would be higher.
I know. It shows how hard it is. It shows that it's really hard to get a really good approval rating.
But I had heard he was in the 70s from other polls. Well, anyway, according to Morning Consult, there's only one other governor in America with numbers this good, and that's Charlie Baker of Massachusetts, who has a 69% approval.
Wow.
The third most popular governor until recently was Vermont's Phil Scott, who had a 65% approval rating until last spring when he signed a landmark gun control law in historically gun-friendly Vermont. Had a lot of nerve.
He only dropped one slot for doing that.
He's dropped to number 4 on the list. Each of these rankings is noteworthy because they're all Republicans who are serving in traditionally Democratic states.
Right.
And each of them is carefully keeping this Republican president at arm's length. With Election Day drawing closer, President Trump has announced last week that he intends to spend more time on the campaign trail with Republican candidates.
That's all right. You stay home. Go to
But some of these Republicans, including Governor Hogan, are letting the White House know that they don't particularly welcome any assistance from the president. For more of this, you can read Michael Lesker's blog post on this topic at jmoreliving.com.
Yes, and tell us if you intend to vote for Ben Jealous or Larry Hogan. I will give you a spoiler alert right here and tell you I'm voting for Ben Jealous. I've always found him very charismatic and bright and intelligent, and I like listening to him.
He's got a tough battle there, though.
Yeah, that's like the whole point. Like, that's hysterical in such a blue state that he does not have this in the bag. You're gonna have to fight for it, Ben. So start fighting.
But it says something about Marylanders that we're open-minded enough and independent enough that we don't have to just stick to one party. So
that's right.
I guess that's good.
That is good. Right. So some good news out of the Supreme Court. You think? Fingers crossed. Supreme
Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg says that she hopes to remain on the court for another 5 years. Hope she does. I'm now 85, she said, according to CNN. My senior colleague, Justice John Paul Stevens, he stepped down when he was 90, which was back in 2010. So I think I have at least 5 more years. Ginsburg, who is marking her 25th year on the bench this year, has hired law clerks for the next 2 terms, taking her at least through 2020. Nominated by former President Clinton and confirmed to the Supreme Court in August of 1993, Ginsburg is the court's oldest justice and among its most liberal. If she left the bench during President Trump's term, it would give him the opportunity to appoint a 3rd Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we all know that could have really horrific repercussions that last decades. So
it's pretty amazing. I mean, he's only been in office not even 2 years yet, a year and a half, and already,
has 2 appointees.
Has had 2 appointees.
I know.
Amazing.
It's hang in there, Ruth. RBG. Notorious RBG.
Did you see the movie about her?
No, I need to see it. I heard
everybody told me it was great.
I know. I haven't seen it yet either.
And they're making a drama about her with Felicity.
I know. There's some argument. What's her name? Felicity Jones?
Jones, I think. Yeah.
I think that's her name. Yeah. Yeah, there's some arguments about that. That's really bad casting.
Okay.
So, speaking of the casting couch,
yes,
we've got some more problems in sexual assault related scandals.
Yeah, sure. This is a messy one.
This is bad.
CBS is looking into sexual misconduct allegations against its CEO, Leslie Moonves, who was accused of inappropriate behavior in a New Yorker expose on July 27th. Ronan Farrow interviewed 6 women who alleged that Moonves sexually harassed them between the 80s and the late 2000s.
And it's interesting that Ronan Farrow is he's like on a crusade.
This is his beat.
Yeah, he's going to out everyone. He's come out against his
dad?
his dad,
His alleged dad?
Woody Allen. He's the one who wrote the original articles about Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
I think he got a Pulitzer for those.
Yeah.
So
Pretty amazing.
he's on a mission.
Yeah. Now, 4 of Moonvis's alleged victims say that he inappropriately touched them and kissed them during business meetings. Wow. CBS stock shares took a hit on July 30th, and the CBS board of directors met later in the day to discuss his fate. The meeting ended without immediate recommendations, and CBS said Moonves would remain CEO pending the outcome of an investigation by outside counsel. Moonves was the head of Viacom before becoming board chairman of the CBS Corp in 2016. He grew up in a Jewish family in New York City and is a grandnephew of the late Paula Ben-Gurion, the wife of Israel's first prime minister, David Ben-Gurion. That's an interesting tidbit.
Yeah, I never knew that. And her name was Paula Moonves.
Right.
So I guess he anglicized it slightly. If you are just joining us, this is Jay Moore's Need to Know on Facebook Live. Share, like, and follow at hashtag Jay Moore Need to Know. So Facebook is still in trouble. Can't get out of this rut.
Can't do it. The chairman of the U.S. Commission to Preserve America's Heritage Abroad said Mark Zuckerberg's stance on not removing Holocaust denial posts from Facebook is, quote, dangerous. Mm-hmm. Paul Packer sent a letter to Zuckerberg a day after the Facebook founder and CEO told Recode that he would not automatically delete Holocaust-denying posts. In an interview, Zuckerberg said that while Facebook would not remove a post denying the Holocaust, the social network would push it down the newsfeed to make sure that the post did not go viral. At the end of the day, I don't believe our platform should take that down because I think there are things that different people get wrong, Zuckerberg said. I don't think that they're intentionally getting it wrong.
That is a very strange argument. Like, if he's going to defend anything, it should be freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And, like, alternate ideas. But because he thinks that they're not intentionally getting it wrong by denying the Holocaust, little weird.
And meanwhile, Packer countered that by attempting to rationalize Holocaust denial and by enabling anti-Semites to publish their abhorrent views freely on your platform, you have failed your users and the world at large. Wow.
Yeah.
Packer told Zuckerberg to change Facebook's policy immediately so that the historical denial of that kind you defended is no longer allowed. So, I'm surprised that there hasn't been more outcry from the Jewish community about this whole thing.
About the Holocaust denial thing. I know his sister came out against it.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. I haven't heard a ton of stuff.
It's a tricky one because you don't want to mess with First Amendment rights and freedom of speech.
Right.
At the same time, Holocaust denial is pretty disgusting stuff.
It is. But I think there's also so much else broken on Facebook that, like, maybe people are just generally angry and they're not pinpointing particular topics to
How
be
do people
angry
brag
about.
Before Facebook was around?
Humble brag.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah. One of my friends posted.
Every kid, every souffle, every lasagna, every vacation.
Every lasagna, every shakshuka ever made. No,
like people are like, "Hey, look, I'm on vacation, so come
look,
to rob my house.
Right here.
Come on over."
No. On Friday when the stocks dropped more than most companies are worth, when they lost more money than many companies are worth,
right.
I had friends on Facebook who were like, "How do we save Facebook? What should we do?" And I was like, "Why do we need to?" I mean, I know it is my job, so I should sort of.
You want Facebook to survive.
I guess, but I think we maybe will go back to talking to each other, which would be fine. I think that would be all right. And 2, another thing would just come along. It's not like we're gonna all like, I don't
Facebook
know, be in
is
some void
here for good.
Yeah,
whether in this form or another form, but it will survive.
All right, so
but, we're feeling our way through it all. We're finding our way.
Working it out.
Right.
I would not be particularly sad if Facebook or Twitter went away. I would have to find a new line of work.
You wouldn't know when everyone's birthday is, though.
Yeah, which is actually really helpful. That's
what
the
they
one
ate for
thing
dinner
they
last
do.
night.
I don't care what anyone ate. I don't care what they're shopping for right now. So we have more antics from our favorite current political satirist, Sacha Baron Cohen.
I don't know what he is. He's.
I like to call him that.
A little bit of everything.
A nudnik. No good Nick.
Never been named by like this guy. There have been 2 types of reaction by the famous and not so famous to being punked by Sacha Baron Cohen on his Showtime series, Who is America? outrage and self-deprecating good humor.
But I don't know who that was that had
I don't know.
self-deprecating good humor, because I think most people have just been pissed.
So far, like people like Sarah Palin have been outraged. Roy Moore is the latest. The Republican whose bid for the Senate failed last year was definitely in the outraged category. Quote, as an Alabamian, I believe in truth and honesty, which is shadowy media groups behind this illicit scheme do not, Moore said in a Facebook post on July 12th describing the recording by Cohen's team in January. He said he may sue.
I wonder if he understands who Sacha Baron Cohen is.
I don't know.
What shadowy media group does he think is behind him? Or is he just mad at Showtime?
I also wonder if he thinks just because he's from Alabama, it means he's more into truth and honesty than somebody in Tennessee or Vancouver, or not Vancouver, but Alaska or someplace like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, on the third episode, which was broadcast on July 29th, Cohen delved into allegations that Moore decades ago sexually harassed and assaulted multiple women, including some who were minors. In his guise as Israeli terrorism expert Iran Murad, Cohen gives Moore a prize for his support of Israel. Murad shows and impressed Moore the latest in Israeli terrorism technology, a wand that detects Hamas tunnels. They have now used this technology to identify other abnormalities, the Cohen character says. It turns out that sex offenders, and particularly pedophiles, secrete an enzyme 4-DDHD, which is actually detectable. It is 3 times the level of non-perverts. It's amazing that Moore bought into this.
It's amazing that Sacha Baron Cohen can do all this and not just lose it.
Just brilliant.
It's ridiculous.
Brilliant. The wand beeps when Murad waves it near Moore, who appears to grow increasingly tense. Murad insists that the device must be faulty and keeps testing it and says he does not consider Moore a pedophile. I never had an accusation of such things, Moore says in the segment, which was taped just weeks after accusations of such things felled his campaign. Moore leaves, but also makes sure to shake hands with Murad. Maybe Israeli technology hasn't developed properly, he says, but I support Israel, and I don't support this kind of stuff.
I don't know. How is Sacha Baron Cohen still alive? Like, there's
I don't
definitely going to be a fatwa.
Someone's
going to
knock him off.
This is like insane.
Some good old boys in Alabama.
I mean,
You never know.
The problem is he can never do this show again. Like, he had to have taped all of those really, really fast before everyone started talking to each other and like, got in on it.
Who else could get away with this?
It's pretty amazing. Glenn, have you seen them? Yes. Are they great? Oh, see, I need to watch that. Yeah, they're terrifying that everyone could fall for such a thing, right? I mean, I think I would fall for it if he came to me.
He completely morphs into his character, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
I love him. All right, so we need a J word of the day to go with this.
All right. Well, the J word of the day is table.
Table.
It's a Yiddish. It sounds like table, doesn't it? It's a Yiddish word, and it means a devil or a demon. Some critics probably think that Sacha Baron Cohen is a table right about now.
Right about
so
now.
True.
They probably do.
Well, I forgot to bring mine in.
Oh, bad
Okay,
news.
well, you got yours. That's
we
good.
have our new issue. It is out on stands
is.
now. It's got stories about different kinds of book clubs. Tell us what kind of book club you're in. We want to hear about your special book club.
What you're reading.
And if
What
you
are you
really
reading?
read or you just drink wine, because in my experience, many of them just drink the wine.
They eat the cheese, whatever they want.
Eat the cheese, drink the wine,
Whatever
read
works
a
for
book.
you.
It's also got 12 books you should read this month because it's August. It's summer. Go read a book.
And online, we wrote about what we're reading right
We
now.
did. Find out what I'm reading. I bet you're dying to know. Find out what Alan's
Everybody,
reading.
mine is the least cerebral. You guys are reading like all these tomes, and I'm reading like fluff.
It's pretty good. Alan's pick is pretty good. So we also have some really fun and adorable back to school supplies. So check those out. They're great. And and gardening with native plants, always good. Lots of good stuff. Pick up a copy. By the way, if you are interested in getting all the best from Jmore each week in your inbox, go to jmoreliving.com/newsletters. And you can see that ad here to sign up for our regular Thursday newsletter and our new This Week in Baltimore Eating newsletter coming soon. jmoreliving.com/newsletters. Remember to join us here on Facebook Live Tuesdays at 12:30 for your Need to Know News Roundup. Go to jmoreliving.com for more news updates. Stay golden, pony boys.